You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
Doubleheader in the Bronx. The first game ends with a strikeout, and now we go across the street for the second game of this twin bill on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon as the YES Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Cincinnati Reds in the middle game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with David Cohn and John Flaherty. I'm Michael Kay. Yankees started up the series with a 4-0 victory over the Reds. They got some clutch hitting late, but I'll tell you what, the big story of the game was the way Andy Pettitte pitched. 8 innings, he was outstanding, John.
Yeah, second start of the season, and you really cannot get any better than Andy Pettitte was last night. He threw 8 innings, like you said, Michael. Shutout baseball. He had 9 strikeouts. A lot of the strikeouts on the cut fastball, down and away to lefties, down and in on righties. And he goes into the 8th inning, gets a little help from Alex Rodriguez. A nice defensive play to end Andy Pettitte's night. A huge night for the starter for the New York Yankees.
So the Yankees had the 4 runs, and they continue to struggle with runners in scoring position, but somehow, David, they got it done without getting a hit with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, they did, and sometimes it just takes putting the ball in play, and you don't need the big home run sometimes. You don't need the big booming line drive double. Sometimes just a 9-hopper to shortstop will get you a run, especially with Curtis Granderson running to third, and maybe that opens it up because Robbie Cano gets a good swing there. That ball looked like it was headed for the subway as Robbie back legs it, starting to get his swing going, and Raul Ibanez, what can you say about him? He's become indispensable in that Yankee lineup. He gets an RBI every 4.5 at-bats for the Yankees, which leads the team.
Well, maybe that 8th inning jump starts the Yankee offense because Ivan Nova, when he pitches, it certainly seems like they score him a lot of runs. He's got a good record, but a high ERA. We'll break it down with David Cohn next, right here on YES. Look at today's New York Lottery pitching matchup. Homer Bailey is going to go for the Reds, 1-3, 4.35, and Ivan Nova for the Yankees, 4-1 with a 5.44 ERA. Welcome back. That's David Cohn. I'm Michael Kay. John Flaherty will rejoin us in just a moment. For Ivan Nova, you see his record is pretty good. He has not pitched the way he pitched last year, high ERA, and his last time out was painful, but not in the way you would think.
Yeah, I mean, painful in terms of, obviously the injury, the line drive he took off of his foot. We're going to watch that closely today because it is his push-off leg. But, it's kind of a mystery with Nova this year. As you see, there is such a thing as being wild in the strike zone, up in the strike zone, and that's why he leads the league in total bases. He's given up 111 total bases this year, which leads the major leagues. But when he does do well, his pitches are very, very effective. His strikeouts are up, his walks are down, as you see that line drive off of his foot. And this is what sort of keyed the injury is he tweaked it a little bit. on that particular play had to come out of the game, and it didn't look good right there, but he is going to make a start today, and we're going to watch him closely.
Yankees will as well. If he doesn't look good, they will go to Freddie Garcia or David Phelps, so we'll see which way that goes. It's Cap Day. Hats off to you. Lineup, first pitch, baseball next. Support by the professionals at your Tri-State GMC dealer. Why just go when you can go pro? And by Pepsi Max. 0 calories maximum. Pepsi taste. A view from Heritage Field as we move toward Yankee Stadium. Inside the stadium, big crowd to see the Yankees against the Reds, the middle game of this 3-game set. Reds are 19-19. The Yankees 21-18. Here's the Reds starting lineup. Chris Heisey in left field leads off. Drew Stubbs in center will bat second. Joey Votto at first will hit third. In the middle, Brandon Phillips, Jay Bruce, and Todd Frazier. In the bottom third, Mike Costanzo, Devin Mesoraco, and Wilson Valdez. And let's do it here in the Bronx as Nova deals. It's a strike and we're underway. And the 0-1. Fouled away. The Reds' leadoff hitters have not done a good job this year. They have a 188 on-base percentage. That's an on-base percentage. And since they lowered the mound in 1969, the record for lowest on-base percentage for a team, 1969 Padres, 239. The 0-2. Fouled away. With the hitters they have at 3, 4, and 5, you want to get that leadoff guy on.
His 8th start of the year. Good record, high ERA. It's the 58 hits in 43 innings that is alarming, but the walks are down. The strikeouts are pretty good.
The 0-2.
The scouting report on Nova, the health check, we've covered it well. That line drive off his foot, a little bit of a push-off problem. Yeah, we'll be looking for that today. So far, so good. Damage control, we talked about those hits per innings.
Swing and a miss. Heisey strikes out.
A good slider there from Nova, and he needs to do the damage control and limit the extra base hits. And then also, he's been well supported in his career. He's averaged 7 runs of run support when he's in the game, which is even more important for a pitcher. It's not only run support, but run support while you're actually in the game so you can realize it. The Yankees in his career, team record 30-11. 732 winning percentage, and in his career, team record that is.
Drew Stubbs takes low.
We're going to pay attention early to his ankle or his right foot. It looks like so far so good. Velocity looks good. Breaking ball down in the zone.
1-1.
It's all going to be about that back leg, the right foot, the right ankle, delivery right towards home plate.
1-1. Joe Girardi said Larry Rothschild is going to be keeping a close eye on Nova, see if anything is amiss. Hammered down the left field line. The problem with Nova so far this year is 4-1. You can't complain with that, but he's allowed 32 extra base hits, and he's also allowed 9 home runs in 7 starts. He allowed only 1 home run in his last 7 starts of last season. So his mistakes seem to be up in the zone, and they're getting punished.
Continuing to see the evolution of a young pitcher, and he's got all the right ideas. Good stuff. Mid-90s fastball. That slider continues to get better and better.
Pitch outside as Stubbs walks. While we check out the defense behind Nova, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Wise, Granderson, and Ibanez left to right in the outfield. Infield, A-Rod, Jeter, Nix, and Swisher. Cano is the DH today. Martin behind the plate. Nova is on the mound. Now Mark Teixeira has been given a second day off as he tries to deal with his bronchial problems, and Joe Girardi said might even give him tomorrow off. Long set, and there's a strike to Votto. We mentioned the 32 extra base hits against Nova. That's the most allowed by any pitcher in the major leagues. So it's hard to ignore those kind of numbers and stats. You got a guy up at the plate who also specializes in extra base hits. Let's check out the Delta League leaders. These are the double leaders. Votto with 17, Cano with 15. So this is throughout the majors.
Sure, Votto not disappointed. Andy Pettitte not out on the mound today. 3 strikeouts yesterday for him. Did not reach base yesterday, which is newsworthy. Joey Votto usually on base via the walk or base hit. Andy Pettitte locked in last night, 8 shutout innings. It's got to be a nice feeling, David, standing on the railing watching after you have a night like that.
Yeah, you saw the emotion with Andy last night too. Really fist pumping.
Runner goes, good jump. And no throw by Martin. No slide by Stubbs. The jump was so good. 7 stolen base for Stubbs.
I mentioned last night the Reds not really a base stealing team. That'll be their 16th on the season, 7th for Stubbs, like you said. But not your typical National League or what we would think of a National League team. More power, home runs, and doubles hitters on this team than stolen bases.
That stolen base comes with a little bit of a price, because with Stubbs at first, Swisher has to hold on the runner. Well, with Stubbs stealing second, well, first base is now open, and Swisher can play deeper. Maybe the Yankees would be tempted to pitch around Votto. And they walk Votto. So 2 walks by Nova. Here's Brandon Phillips. 13 ribbies this year, 499 for the Reds in his career. Breaking ball for a strike. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 72 degrees, 32% humidity, not much wind, it's sunny, and as I mentioned, low humidity. Just a beautiful day.
When you think about the Reds lineup, Votto hitting third and Jay Bruce hitting fifth, both lefties. If you're Nova, you got to go get Phillips right here. Right-handed hitting cleanup hitter. David, you know this better than anybody. You used to do this all the time in your career. You can pitch around certain hitters, maybe like you did with Votto, but you got to go get the one that you want, and that's Phillips right here, right on right.
Yeah, that's his purpose in this lineup is Dusty Baker trying to break up those lefties. Throws Phillips, his only other real power hitting guy, right in the middle of those two very valuable left-handed bats. Hard to believe Brandon Phillips, played in parts of 11 seasons. See, those are the last 5. 30 home runs in 07 was his high. Throughout his career in parts of 11 seasons, he's averaged 20 home runs a year. He kind of jumped me, Flash. I was down by the dugout, and Brandon Phillips was walking out, and I felt a sneeze coming on, and it's one of those things that, when it comes out, and I turned my head, and it was right on him as he walked out. He said he was going to tweet it that David Cone sneezed on him, so I was looking for some Twitter material, so I might be on Twitter for sneezing on Brandon Phillips. But he thinks it's going to bring him luck today. So.
Is it a good hitter's count right here? We'll see.
That one is looped into right field. It is a base hit. Stubbs will score. The throw is cut off. It's an RBI sneeze single by Phillips, and the Reds have a 1-0 lead.
Well, baseball players, we're superstitious sort of guys, and sometimes that's what it takes. Not the best hit ball. Nova kind of beats him on the inner half, and that's what you call just muscling off the pitch. Just kind of fought that pitch off. And good piece of hitting if you're a hitter, and if you're a pitcher, you're thinking you're a little bit unlucky. Nonetheless, an RBI single for Brandon Phillips.
Here's Jay Bruce. First and third, 1 out. Strike. And the count 0-2.
Good job jumping ahead in the count. Curveball down and away. Follows it up with a fastball up and in. In this situation, you're looking for a strikeout, possibility of a ground ball double play. A lot of options now. Looks like a curveball down in the dirt.
The 0-2. He struck him out. Big strikeout for Nova. Second strikeout of the inning.
You could do it much better there, David. Backdoor curveball, strike one, fastball up and in, and then a curveball down and in. A nice play by Martin, keeping it in front.
Let's see how much Jay Bruce missed that slider by. That shows you the quality of the pitch from Nova. That ball bounced way in front of home plate. Bruce missed it by a foot.
Here's Todd Frazier. About 40 family members here last night. Grew up in New Jersey. Actually, Toms River is where he grew up. Played on the Toms River Little League team that won a championship in 1998. And that's our colleague Al Leiter's hometown, Toms River. And his family and friends were happy. In one of the Reds games at Citi Field, Frazier hit 2 home runs. And there's his jerseyography. The Rutgers to flush it out. Count 2-0. Now they're saying 2-1. plate umpire Brian Gorman straightens everybody out. It's 1-0 on the scoreboard.
Got some pop, you know. He's 6'3", 217. Big kid. Already 3 home runs.
2-2.
Watching him in batting practice, and he gets great backspin on the ball. You know, hits these long fly balls that just keep going and going.
And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. So Nova strikes out the side, but he's hurt by 2 walks and a bloop single. Reds get 1, Strand 2, and the Yankees coming to bat. Against Homer Bailey, and it's presented by Lexus. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter leads off. Batting second and playing center field, Curtis Granderson. Robinson Cano, the DH, will hit third. Cleaning up third baseman, Alex Rodriguez. Raul Ibanez in right field will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing first base, Nick Swisher. Russell Martin will catch, he'll bat seventh. The number 8 hitter is the left fielder, Dwayne Wise. Jason Nix at second base will bat ninth. Homer Bailey will get the start for the Reds.
Get a look at his numbers there. Homer Bailey. Flash, not the best name for a pitcher I've ever heard. But that he is named after his great-grandfather, actually. His first name's David, which to me is a better name. Homer Bailey, scout report. He does throw strikes early. 67% first pitch strikes. That's 8th best in the National League. And still trying to establish himself. He's 26-26 in the big leagues. 85 career starts. He's a Reds first rounder, 7th pick in 04 out of LaGrange, Texas High School. And still young, but he's had enough. It's time to start kicking it in and establish yourself as a bona fide big league starter.
Derek Jeter digs in, leads the majors with 58 hits. Count 1-0.
Bailey coming off a good start against the Atlanta Braves, 6 2/3 innings, only 1 earned run in that outing. So he should have some confidence coming into Yankee Stadium this afternoon.
Two 2-0. Bailey a 9.0 ERA in the first inning. After that, 3.41. Now 3-0. Derek has a 7-game hitting streak. 7 hits and 22 at bats, so it's a vitamin hitting streak, 1 a day. And Bailey deals the 3-0. 3-1. Derek has the most hits in interleague play in his career, 327, followed by his teammate Alex Rodriguez. His ex-teammate Johnny Damon is next, and Ichiro and another ex-teammate. The 3-1. Driven out to right field, deep, going back Bruce on the track, at the wall, and he makes the play for the first out. He got turned every which way but loose, but came down with the ball.
Well, Derek puts a good swing on this ball, and like Michael said, Bruce has his back to the field, turns around, Makes a nice athletic play right up against the wall. Has his sunglasses on. Didn't look good, but made the play. Another look at it on Yesmo.
Not exactly robbing him of a home run, but it would have been top of the wall.
There's Curtis Granderson. He takes a strike. A little bit of a wind here at the stadium. Granderson, one of only 7 players in the major leagues that have played every single inning for his team this year. And with the injury to Brett Gardner, they can't afford really to give Curtis Granderson a day off. They don't really have a guy who can play center field. Obviously, they have Andrew Jones, who won 10 gold gloves as a center fielder, but those days are over. There's a ground ball to second. Phillips makes the play for the second out. Let's check out the defense for the Reds, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. High seat Stubbs and Bruce left to right in the outfield. Frazier, Valdez, Phillips, and Votto third to first. Mesoraco behind the plate, and Bailey is on the mound. Here's Cano, the DH today. He has a 5-game hitting streak. And he had a long home run in yesterday's game. David showed you that in the open. Deep into the bleachers and right. Two.
Well, last night he gets a little slider up in the zone from Bronson Arroyo and hits it a ton. Gave the Yankees a little insurance run at that point. Banez followed up with a 2-run shot.
Last 12 games, he's really turned it around. Started off slow. Mark Teixeira with the day off for the 2nd straight game as he is fighting those bronchial issues. Really starts to cough a lot. Any physical exertion. And Joe Girardi said before the game he might even give him tomorrow off.
Give him a little mental break too. I mean, a lot of talk about his streakiness and slow starts. Couple that with the illness that he has. So, give that mind a break too. Just go ahead and shut it down. He's got the hoodie on, got the shades. You can see he's in complete shutdown mode, and might be the best thing for him mentally as well.
Grounded to first, tough up, but Votto stays with it, and that'll do it as the Yankees go down in order. 1, 2, 3. We're going to go to the second. Mike Costanzo will lead off against Ivan Nova.
try to get better because it's a long season, and I want to make sure I'm good for the long run.
Are you feeling any better?
Not any worse, which is good. So hopefully a couple days will make me feel better.
Before the game, Mark Teixeira talking with our very own Meredith Morakovitz. He sounds really, really raspy and raw, and that's from all the coughing that he does, and made only worse by physical activity. And you got to feel for the guy. He has not felt good since the beginning of the year, so it's been about a month and a half of coughing. And Joe Girardi said the doctors know what's up. It's just trying to knock it out of his system. And they feel that they have the bug out of his system, but the bronchial passages get inflamed when he starts to exert himself. And Joe Girardi was asked, well, why don't you just send him home? He said, well, I don't know how to say this without hurting people's feelings. He said, but sometimes when you have young kids at home, you probably can get more rest here at the ballpark than being at home. Costanzo takes outside.
I just think about it. There's no game plan on how to get him better. It's not like a pulled hamstring where you could say, oh, you're going to need 4 or 5 days, a little strengthening, you'll be good to go. Day by day, hopefully he'll feel a little bit better tomorrow.
One. 2-1. 28-year-old rookie Mike Costanzo looking for his first big league hit. Started the year in AA, then went to AAA. Combined 303, 6 homers, and 24 runs batted in. That's a long stay at AAA. Wasn't in the minors.
Nice story too. He signed out of the Atlantic League, independent baseball.
4 strikeouts now for Nova.
The perseverance, go to the independent leagues and get signed by the Reds, work your way through the minor league system. Still looking for that first big league base hit. Backdoor curveball gets him. Good look on Yesmo, the rotation of that curveball.
Here's Devin Mesoraco. Guys, you both spent time in the minors. Can you appreciate what that guy went through, 28 years old in the minor leagues?
I mean, I spent 4 years in the minor leagues before I got my first cup of coffee in the big leagues, and I can't imagine being down that long.
Deep drive to right field. Ibanez on the run. He can't make the play, and it bounces into the seats for a double.
I applaud these guys who keep playing in the minor leagues, go to independent baseball, work your way to the big leagues. It's a great accomplishment.
That ball kept slicing away from Ibanez.
Well, we get a little look at what Jay Bruce found out with his first fly ball out to right, and it is swirling out there as that ball just keeps pushing away from Ibanez. He went after it like he knew he was going to get there, and then all of a sudden the ball wasn't there. But I agree with you, Flash. The minor league life, especially independent league, very difficult.
There's Wilson Valdez. 1-0.
Something very pure about the independent leagues, though. They're non-affiliated. If you own an independent league baseball team, you have to scout and sign your own players, and then when a big league team gets one of your players, you sell them, sort of old school style.
Great thing about independent leagues, and they weren't around when I came through the minor leagues, I'm sure with yourself. It's opportunities for kids who still want to play. Don't get drafted maybe out of college, get an opportunity to keep playing, or a guy who's been released. Show off your skills. You never know. Jose Canseco's still playing independent baseball.
1-1. Chases a high fastball.
Sideshow Bob. He's trying to wrestle a bear, in between innings, too.
One-two. Breaking ball, strike 3. 5 outs recorded by Nova, 5 strikeouts by Nova. Today's closed captioning brought to you by Lexus.
Sort of backs up as you see, not the best spin on that ball, but it ends up right down the middle, and sometimes those backup hanging sliders work. Sometimes they don't as well, as evidenced by sometimes the doubles and home runs he's given up this year. But Nova's stuff is good. That's sort of the mystery this year with Nova. When he's good, he's really good. Very aggressive. When he's wild in the zone, he's paid the price.
Heisey is one of his strikeouts, leading off the game with a K. Now the count 0-1 here in the second. Runner on second base, 2 outs.
Dusty Baker trying to get Heisey going. Batted him leadoff here, as Michael noted the leadoff struggles of the Reds. But he had 18 home runs last year. So far this year, nothing.
There's a base hit past Alex Rodriguez and down the left field line. Mesoraco will score. It's an RBI double for Heisey, and it's 2-0 Reds. 2 more extra base hits against Nova. 34 given up on the season, which leads the majors.
Well, the 2-out base hits for RBIs are killers. A big lift for the Cincinnati Reds. Heisey, a nice shot down the line out of the reach of Alex Rodriguez. Pitching, catching standpoint, you're so close with 2 outs. You make 1 pitch, you're out of the inning. Didn't work out for Nova.
Heisey just beat him to the spot. Pretty good pitch, really. Maybe it was up, but it was off the corner on the inside part. Maybe not even a strike. And Heisey just short and quick kept it fair.
There's Drew Stubbs. One 1-0. Martin goes out and talks with Nova.
Kind of caught that curveball a little bit funny. Russell Martin did. You wonder if there was a little miscommunication on signs with the runner at second. And also a lot of breaking balls backing up, David. I don't know if he's fallen off towards first base a little bit, but slider and curveball backing up.
The 1-0. 2-0.
Nova first came up, he didn't really have that slider, and he sort of has picked it up, and it's gotten better and better. But you're right, Flash. When he gets around it, it just sits there and it'll back up, and that explains a lot of those extra base hits. Really good one there. Good tight spin. Sometimes he throws them and they're unhittable, as evidenced by the 5 strikeouts so far. Sometimes they stay up and they back up, and those are the ones that get hammered.
Got to be careful here. You can't walk Stubbs and then put 2 runners on for Votto. You walk Stubbs in the first inning as well. There's a strike. And 2.
Right at the knees, right down the middle. Stubbs thought it was low.
Great 2 pitch. He struck him out. 6 strikeouts for Nova. But the Reds do score a run. We go to the bottom of the second. Alex Rodriguez hitting .361 at the stadium. He'll lead off. Do you prefer to see the designated hitter or the pitcher batting? Text your vote to 42951. Your choices are easy as standard text messaging rates apply. Is it 1, designated hitter, or 2, pitcher batting?
I'm not really in love with the wording of that question. I mean, to me, it's obvious who you'd rather see hit. It's more about strategy. Which strategy do you like better?
Did you like hitting?
I did when I was young, and then when I got older, I realized it was a waste of time and waste of energy. So I was crotchety and old. I didn't like it, but when I was young and dumb, I loved it.
Alex Rodriguez swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Phillips makes the play. 1 pitch, 1 out.
I got to be honest, David. I was talking to somebody at the Pinstripe Bowl golf tournament, which both you and I played in, about your golf game. How he's got some game, Michael. He can play golf.
Really?
And the person, I forget who I was talking to, said David Cohn was a good hitting pitcher, good athlete. I didn't know. What was your career batting average?
Wasn't good. I mean, I think I ended up about 150, but I did lead the league one year. I batted 234 one year. And that was the highest average for all the pitchers in the league.
Izzy Banez. Didn't you get your finger crushed bunting, though?
I did get my finger crushed bunting when I was a rookie. I do have, I don't know if it was the only, I think I am the only Mets pitcher to pinch hit and get a hit. I'm really patting myself on the back. Right? No, I really wasn't that good of a hitter.
Can we, just for fun, because it's early and people have finished eating, can we show the viewers the finger? Oh, he's cracking it, too, before he shows it. The 0-2. Grounded to short. Backhanded by Valdez. And then all right, you might want to shield the kid's eyes from this. Here's David's finger. That was, who broke it? Was it Atlee Hammaker?
Atlee Hammaker. You got to kind of go side to side there. As you see, it kind of makes a right-hand turn.
Oh, wow. Does it hurt?
No, only when I pick my nose with it. But other than that, I have no problems. What?
You're honest.
No, actually, I was not a very good pitcher before that happened. The next year after I came back last year, I won 20 games. And then my ball started moving, kind of like Mordecai Three-Finger Brown back in the day.
There's Nick Swisher. Well, Bob Wickman was a better pitcher after he got the tip of his finger.
That's true. There's some guys, I mean, sometimes it can help. You know, it acted like a rudder on the end of my hand, and it made me off-center the ball, and my four-seamer started cutting, started moving a little better. I really believe it helped. I really do. My hand just kind of naturally moved to the side, and the next year I went 20-3 with the Mets.
The rest is history.
Fastball was moving all over the place.
Now, with all the great doctors that are out there, they couldn't straighten your finger out?
I didn't want them to straighten it out. You know, part of it got shattered, the lower part, and the upper part was crooked, was from a high school football injury. So it was like that before it got shattered, actually. It was already kind of crooked.
High fly ball, left field. Heisey is there, and he makes the play. So the Yankees go 3 up, 3 down here in the second inning. We go to the third. Heart of the Reds order coming up, starting with Joey Votto. the K by K brought to you by Mazda.
Well, a good curveball to Heisey starting off the game. The curveball's been the good pitch. Fastball to Frazier, another backdoor curveball. A little spinning slider gets away with it. Another good slider down in the zone to Drew Stubbs. 6 strikeouts for Ivan Nova.
So now the heart of the Reds order against Nova: Votto, Phillips, and Bruce. 3, 4, and 5. We told you yesterday that in April, the Reds announced a 10-year contract extension with Joey Votto. But then to make sure they had him, longer than that, and you see the Lincoln scoreboard, 2-0 Reds, they also had a team option for the 11th year. So he signed through 2023. Strike.
Well, he is that good. He deserves the contract. He's up there among the leaders in so many different categories, including defensively as well.
Strikeout number 7 for Nova.
Right after I talk him up, you just never see him take swings like he's taken the first 2 nights here. He never swings the bat at those pitches. One of the best eyes in the league. You see that kind of a swing, just sort of a phone booth swing, like you're inhibited in a phone booth trying to swing a baseball bat, and that Joey Votto just never swings like that. That shows you the quality of the spin when Ivan Nova's right with that slider.
I guess last night you kind of write it off as Andy Pettitte being that good left on left. Swing a little different.
Grounded to A-Rod. So the strikeout string ends, but Phillips grounds into the second out of the inning. Follow the Yankees with the MLB.com @Bat12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Yankees.com for details. There's a strike. Jay Bruce lost one foul, left side, and out of play. Beautiful day here at the stadium. Hard to even find a cloud in the sky. I can't locate one. Second game of this 3-game set. The 0-2. Strikeout number 8 for Nova. And he works a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the third. Yankees down 2-0. It'll be the bottom third of the Yankee order trying to make something happen. Network Yankees games on your PCs or laptops with Verizon Fios. Get a full season of live Yankees games on the go for just $49.99. If you're a Verizon Fios TV customer with Fios Internet, go to YesNetwork.com to get more information and subscribe now. Want to send out best wishes to a friend, Ed Muriano of Boonton, New Jersey, rehabbing from back surgery and having the Yankees help him get through it. So get well soon, Ed. As we go to the bottom of the third, it's 2-0 Reds. Russell Martin against Homer Bailey. That one is driven out to right field. Bruce back, track, wall, see ya! Home run, Russell Martin the other way. Yankees on the board. It's 2-1 Reds. Russell Martin was 2 for 28 before that swing. And he connects for a home run.
And aggressive on the first pitch. Fastball away. And he just stays right on it and drives it the other way. Good sign for Russell Martin. You watch him take batting practice. He drives the ball all over the yard. Gets a little quick with that front hip during the game. Not on that swing.
Dwayne Wise takes low. Let's take a look at the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast.
Right over home plate. You see, you talk about letting the ball travel. Not out in front of that. That's how you don't hit a ball the other way. You let the ball almost get right over home plate, and short and quick, and drive it the other way. Good to see him get a little aggressive. You know, we've seen him take a lot of pitches this year.
Lincoln scoreboard now 2-1 Reds lead. Something that also could have played into breaking that 2 for 28 slide is he finally got rid of that mustache. I think this is his first game without it.
Much better look.
2-2. Wayne Wise, 2 hits and 15 at bats. He swings and misses for the first out of the third. Here's Jason Nix. Also 2 for 15, but a home run with 2 ribbies.
Of course, Jason Nix is filling the role previously played by Eduardo Nunez, who's now in AAA with a thumb injury.
Serve the other way. Bruce on the run. He's not going to get there. He'll have to play it on a hop. A base hit for Nix. There's Derek Jeter, flirted with an extra base hit in the first inning, driving Jay Bruce back to the wall. Hauled it in after turning the wrong way. So Jeter is 0 for 1.
Watching Bailey here with 1 out in the third. He's a guy who's been around the plate, has not walked anybody this afternoon so far. A good guy to hit and run against, maybe. Doesn't have overpowering stuff. Looks like he's right around the plate.
Get a chance to see Mesoraco throw, too. Mesoraco, the catcher today. #1 draft pick at 07, the 15th pick in the nation by the Reds.
Runner goes, swing and a miss, throw to second. And he is out. Nick slid right into Phillips' tag, and the umpire is waiting to see if Phillips held on. Phillips looks as if he's a bit shaken, but Nick's is out.
Well, right on cue, as you see, Nick's not particularly that good of a jump as he looks back, and Mesoraco right on the button. can't get much better than that. Maybe even a slight little short hop, but I mean, right on the ground in front of the bag, and gives Phillips plenty of chance to just lay the glove there. Let the ball travel all the way to you. Ball hits the glove hits the helmet.
The way Nix was peeking in, it looked like it was probably a hit and run that Derek Jeter swung right through. Mesoraco, that high arm angle, David, you know, it looked like he really pulled down on that baseball. Good backspin and accurate throw.
Slow roller up the first baseline, rolling, and slap foul by Mesoraco.
See how this turns out. That might be a smart play right there from Mesoraco. Off the end of the bat, that baseball had a lot of spin on it. Mesoraco thought it would come back to the field of play and end up being a fair ball. To avoid that, he slaps it into foul territory. Right off the end of the bat, there's going to be a lot of spin on that baseball. If he does field it, he's not going to have a play.
Got a bad angle to throw with Jeter right in front of him.
Driven out to right field. Bruce is there, and he'll put it away. But the Yankees are on the board. An opposite field home run by Russell Martin. He goes the other way to the short porch, give the Yankees their first run. Now Ivan Nova will go back on the mound. He has 8 strikeouts. How many more does he have in him? Finished their careers with at least one MVP. Who are those players? Good question. Yankees got swept in that series, but came back and won in 77 and 78 against the Dodgers. Top of the 4th inning, it's 2-1. Reds lead in 3 innings of work, 9 outs. Ivan Nova has 8 strikeouts. Now the major league record for a 9-inning game is 20 strikeouts. Roger Clemens did it twice. Randy Johnson did it once. Kerry Wood did it once. As Frazier pops it up. Now the major league record for strikeouts in a game is actually 21, held by Tom Chaney. He struck out 21 in 1962, but he did it in 16 innings, and he pitched all 16 innings. 7 pitchers have struck out 19 in a game, And one of them is with us here in the booth. David Cohn did it for the Mets. Last day of the season, right, Dave?
Last day of the season, and Philadelphia Phillies, they had their bags packed.
0-2.
They were thinking about the offseason, Flash.
When you're ringing up strikeouts like that, David, are you thinking about getting strikeouts then after?
Yes, you are, definitely. It was the last day. Both teams were out of the race. It was, as we just said, it was a meaningless game.
Fly ball, left field. Dwayne Wise puts it away.
Well, the funny story about that was Larry Boa, the former Yankee coach, was then the third base coach for the Philadelphia Phillies that day in 1991, and he was giving me the running tally. Every time I would walk up the mound, you got 14, you got 16, you got 17. He was pulling for me.
Remember seeing highlights of that game. You had a frisbee working that afternoon, that big sweeping slider.
Sweeping slider, and Jim Fregosi, the manager of the Phillies, had about 4 or 5 AAA guys that were September call-ups, and it was just one of those days where they swung at everything.
Did you have a chance at 20, or was the last batter your 19?
I did. Well, my last batter was a 19. I did have a chance at 20, and I did not strike out the pitcher that day, if you can believe it. In the National League style game, the pitcher popped up twice. So if I look back on that game, I certainly did have a shot at 20. Dale Murphy would have been 20, and he grounded out to short to end the game. The Hall of Famer, Dale Murphy.
Did you have 2 strikes on him?
I did have 2 strikes on him.
The 1-2. Strikeout number 9 for Ivan Nova.
You see, once again, with Martin setting up down and in, and that slider just goes straight down. It's almost like his slider does something different every time. I mean, it's hard, 88 miles an hour. It's good velocity for a slider with that kind of depth and movement. Sometimes it breaks side to side, sometimes it goes straight down like that last one. Sometimes it backs up.
1-0.
David, you could probably talk about this better than me, but it was unusual to catch a pitcher who had both a curveball and a slider. Usually it's one or the other. Fastball slider change or fastball curveball change. Nova has both, and they're both above average pitches.
He does. And, Russell Martin's going to keep calling it, especially with swings like that. Looks like it's right down the middle of fastball, and just at the last minute, it's late and it's quick. And that's what happens when you swing at a fastball and you get the slider. All of a sudden, the bat slips out of your hands.
2 strikes again.
Just from a hitter's standpoint, if you're Mesoraco and you see fastball out of the hand, that's fine. You see curveball, the ball almost jumps out of the pitcher's hand and actually elevates on a curveball. The slider, you don't see that. Just darts away from you.
And the 1-2. 2-2.
Yeah, the slider will come in on the same plane as a fastball because, it's more extension with the arm and a little less tweak with your wrist. So the curveball, as Flash was saying, will come in on a different plane, a little higher plane to allow for a bigger break. Number 3 for another slider.
Grounded to short. Jeter. They get Mesoraco, and that'll do it. So 9 strikeouts over 4 innings for Ivan Nova. Granderson, Cano, and A-Rod coming up bottom of the inning. Question. The 76 World Series between the Yankees and the Reds included 5 players who would finish their careers with at least one Most Valuable Player award. Who are those players? We know Munson did it. Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan, Pete Rose, and George Foster. Yankees returned to the World Series in 1976 after a long absence. They got swept by the Reds. Thurman Munson had a great series, though, and then the next year they beat the Dodgers in 6. Here's Curtis Granderson. 2-1. Reds over the Yanks.
Michael, you know that there's one guy in the house as part of the Reds traveling party that was there in 1976. Just one guy left over.
Okay.
That would be Marty Brenneman, the announcer. There's obviously no players left. As Pete Rose is now, I think, got a traveling road show going on. But none of those guys are playing anymore. But Marty Brenneman, legendary announcer. Kind of like you, he's prone to a snappage here and there.
Really?
He can get a little chapped every now and then.
I don't go snappage on the air, though, do I?
Oh, I haven't heard you snap too much on the air now. Just in between innings a little bit. Long game.
Here's the 3-1. And Granderson walks. There's Marty. His son Tom does a lot of the TV for the Reds, which must be a thrill for both of them.
Does he read the newspaper?
Perusing some of our local tabloids. Does the games on the radio side with Jeff Brantley. Here's Robinson Cano. He grounded out to first in the first. Count 0-1. Grounded to second. Phillips Fields gets the force at second. And he dropped the ball as he was taking it out of the glove, so Granderson is out.
I don't think this ball was hit hard enough to be a double play. Valdez on the transfer loses the handle. Second base umpire Alan Porter on the call. It's a good look right there.
Alex Rodriguez takes low, 1-0.
Like the color-coded facial hair, color-coordinated.
Yeah.
Yes. There you go. That's a lot of work. That's something you'll never see in a Yankee uniform.
The Reds used to have those same rules.
Back to that trivia question, that World Series, some pretty good catchers. Johnny Bench and Thurman Munson. Didn't Sparky cause some controversy? Don't compare Thurman Munson to Johnny Bench.
I think they had him mic'd up, and he was talking about that on the mound, and he was mic'd up on the mound. But he did say at one point that guy's a pretty good player.
Yeah.
The 2-0. 3-0. Alex 26 for 73 here at the stadium. 284 overall. There's that 76 series. Reds were just outstanding. And the Yankees didn't pitch that well. And Johnny Bench at 533 to win the series MVP. High drive. Deep right center. Stubbs back. On the track. At the wall. He'll make the play. And Cano has to hustle back to first. Alex fell just short yesterday of a home run. He got a double then, and this time looked like it was going to go, but Stubbs had enough room.
Well, he gets a good pitch to hit, middle in. And you can tell with the flight of that baseball, Alex knows it has a chance. It all depends on the wind, and it looks like it knocks it down right there on the warning track.
Definitely more breezy than you think as the flag's blowing in from that direction. The reaction of the outfielder kind of tells you how the wind's blowing out there. As he was trying to get back to the wall, and all of a sudden he readjusts and the ball was knocked down.
Ibanez takes a strike. Grounded out the short in the second. Grounded foul. Jack Curry just sent me Sparky Anderson's quote about Munson. He said, outstanding player and would hit 300 in the National League. But he added, don't ever compare nobody to Johnny Bench. Don't never embarrass nobody by comparing them to Johnny Bench. Little double negatives in there by Sparky. Munson said afterward that he felt belittled, and Anderson later sent a letter of apology saying he had no intention to belittle Munson. The 0-2, 1-2.
Yeah, that was right in the heyday of the Big Red Machine. They were just awesome. Still, by a lot of baseball historians, maybe the greatest team ever, or certainly in that argument. Big Red Machine with all those MVP players, Rose and Morgan and Bench. A lot of people think Johnny Bench is the best catcher of all time. Now, Yankee fans will certainly argue about Yogi Berra. Yogi was an offensive force. He wasn't really known for his defense. But Johnny Bench, just the total package behind home plate.
1-2. Hammered. And a base hit. Down the right field line, and it goes into the corner. Cano is rounding third. Robbie Thompson's waving it home. Here he comes. Here's the throw. He's in there. Game is tied on the RBI double by Ibanez.
Well, Ibanez, as David said in the open, just continues to be a productive hitter. Gets a curveball down and in after a couple of high fastballs and hammers it into the corner. Bruce up with the relay throw to Phillips. Has a little bit of trouble with the throw up the line. Enables Robinson Cano to score. Coming around second, you pick up the third base coach, Robbie Thompson. He's waving them all the way. Doesn't miss a beat. Coming around third. Game tied.
So Ibanez with the RBI double, and here is Nick Swisher. And this is where the Yankees have had some trouble of late. They were 0 for their last 19 with runners in scoring position. They're 3 for their last 48. And since May 1st, they're 21 for 131. That's 160 with runners in scoring position, and that's the worst mark in the major leagues. So this is an opportunity with a runner in scoring position. There's a strike. 0-2. So the Yankees have gotten the runs back that Nova gave up in the first and the second. Game tied at 2, bottom of the fourth. And the 0-2 pitch. Swisher swings and misses. So now 0 for the last 20 with runners in scoring position. But the double by Ibanez has tied the score. We go to the 5th, 9 strikeouts for Nova. Tied at 2. That's the main story, and a developing sidebar after Ibanez's game-tying double is that Ivan Nova has 9 strikeouts through 4 innings of pitching. The major league record in a 9-inning game is 20 strikeouts, and Nova seems to have all of his pitches working, and he's actually a little conveniently wild, not terribly wild, but I don't know if the Reds know where the ball's going. And they'll send 9, 1, and 2 in the order up against Nova. Valdez is one of his strikeout victims. Takes a strike.
Pitch count still pretty decent, 68. With all those strikeouts, has managed to keep that count in pretty good shape.
Ground ball up the middle and a base hit for Valdez.
Setting up down and away. Ends up right down the middle. Valdez right back up the box with it. Nova kind of gets that natural movement. You know, he doesn't really throw a sinker per se or a two-seamer. He just kind of gets natural action on his grip, on his fastball. Sometimes it runs right back to the middle when you're trying to go down and away.
A beautiful bunt. Going to be a tough play. Fielded by A-Rod. Not in time. So Heisey picks up a bunt single.
Heisey batting leadoff today, thinking like a leadoff hitter right here. Catches Alex Rodriguez by surprise a little bit. Out of the reach of Nova. Alex, a nice play barehanded, but Heisey beats it. Runs pretty well for a big man. Reds set up for a big inning here.
A good scouting report, you know, with Nova's ankle injury and falling off the first base, and Alex playing back. Heisey takes advantage.
Here's Drew Stubbs. Let's see if he bunts. Nope, swinging away, pitch is high. Count 1-1.
Drew Stubbs was the first-round pick in 06, the 8th pick overall in the nation out of the University of Texas. And he's got some skills. You know, he can run. He's got some power in his bat. Obviously, the problem is strikeouts, swings and misses. He did hit 22 home runs in 2010, 15 last year.
Count 2-1.
Well, David, you mentioned his power too, and I mean hitting second in this lineup with Joey Votto behind you. See the strikeouts. Not a good list to be on, but I mean you could just sit up there and say I'm going to look fastball every pitch, and the majority of the time with that man behind you, you're going to get some fastballs to lean on. We'll see what Nova goes with here. 2-1.
Like Stubbs is thinking the other way the whole time there, you know, with that kind of inside-out swing, trying to be productive here, move the runners up.
I wonder if you could just simplify it a little bit and say, you know what, I get so much protection behind me. If you're Russell Martin, you know who's on deck. You know Jay Bruce is hitting 5th. You're going to be real aggressive with the #2 hitter Stubbs. I wonder if he thinks a little bit too much, trying to cover too many pitches instead of looking for the fastball and take care of that.
2-2. Grounded to Alex. He bobbles, and he gets a force at second. Once the bobble happened, he couldn't get the double play. So 1 out, runners on the corners.
You called it, Michael, once that happened. Also with Swisher playing behind Heisey at first base. A real close play at second. No guarantee you're going to get him right here because he had a running jump. Heisey looks up, thought he might have had a chance to beat it as well.
Here's Votto. 0 for 4 yesterday, 0 for 1 with a walk today. 4 strikeouts so far. There's a strike. Let's take a look at the Home Depot hitter scouting report on Joey Votto.
Well, this guy has power, 29 home runs last year, and patience, 110 walks. And he's a complete hitter in that he goes the other way 47.5% of the time. His base hits are the other way. And he's not just a hitter, an offensive player, a Gold Glover last year.
Count 1-1.
In order for the Reds to be successful, this guy has to get the job done pretty much on an everyday basis. Him, Phillips, and Jay Bruce. Been very quiet for a game and a half here in New York. Yankees want to keep it that way.
So that 456 on base percentage, just off the charts. Ironically, not leading the league. Tough with runners in scoring position as well. David Wright of the Mets leading the league, over 500 on base percentage so far this year. What a year he's having.
The 1-1. 2-1.
What Votto does so well, just pitches just off the plate. He eyeballs. The best eye in the big leagues. When you develop that reputation, umpires start to respect you as well.
Chokes up on the bat a little bit. More bat control.
finds himself in these kind of counts all the time. When you have that kind of eye, 2-1, 3-1, 2-0 counts.
See the highlights of Joey Votto when he hits home runs the other way. It's almost like he gets beat. You know, the ball is so far back. It just keeps carrying because he's so strong.
Deep drive, right field, and that ball is gone. A 3-run home run for Joey Votto. And the Reds now lead 5-2. That's the 10th home run in 8 starts given up by Ivan Nova.
Well, this is the man who has to get it done for the Cincinnati Reds. It looked like he got a little slider inside that speeds up his bat. We talked about how he can really use the whole field to hit. Little off-speed pitch. The slider speeds him up, and it just clears the wall. 3-run shot. Yes, Mo, you see how that bat just falls right into the slot, choking up a little bit. High finish.
So Votto with his 7th home run. Yankees have allowed 41 home runs this season, second most in the majors to the Twins as the starters. Twin starters have allowed 42.
Kind of a microcosm of Nova's season right here. The good, the bad, and the ugly all in one game. I mean, all the strikeouts, all the nasty pitches, and then when he does make a mistake, he gets hammered. Extra base hits given up.
Well, David, don't you think this is kind of what, not to say you expected him to go through, but he wins 16 games last year, bursts onto the scene as Larry Rothschild looking on. There's got to be, well, you don't call it a sophomore slump, but some growing pains to get to that consistent level.
I think so. I think he's still, he's still evolving as a pitcher, still developing his pitches. He's got all the makings, to be an excellent towards the front of the end rotation, towards the front end rather. It's just about consistency at this point. Got a lot of run support throughout his career, so the record has kind of been deceiving with Ivan Nova.
The 2-2 swing and a miss. Strikeout number 10 for Ivan Nova, and that will tie his career high.
Once again, the good, the nasty good. I mean, that's as good as it gets right there. A good curveball, as Flash said. He's got both a curve and a slider. He's got some swings and misses today that have just looked filthy. 10 strikeouts is his career high, but when he does make a mistake, it's wild in the strike zone.
Jay Bruce takes outside.
He's really paid the price. With home runs and doubles and damage.
Bruce has struck out twice against Nova. Count 1-1.
What a swing by Joey Votto there on a 2-1 slider in. Just to bring his hands in and hit a line drive out of here.
2-2.
Shows you the kind of hitter Joey Votto is. I mean, that was impressive.
You got to give the bottom of the lineup a little credit too. Valdez getting on, Heisey with the bunt single, and you have to pitch the number 3 guy, which you don't want to. Well, you brought up a good point, David. I mean, always putting himself in good counts to hit in. Joey Votto, 2-1. Even though Ivan Nova threw a pretty good slider, it was a strike and it got hammered.
3-2. He struck him out. 11 strikeouts, a new career high for Ivan Nova, but he is not thrilled because a 3-run home run off the bat of Joey Votto broke a 2-2 tie. And as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, Reds lead 5-2. Well, again, the question, and David did not like the way it was phrased, do you prefer to see the designated hitter or the pitcher batting? You've been texting us at 42951, and 63% say they'd rather see the designated hitter batting.
Those numbers break down usually on the side of which city your team plays in. You know, in the National League Park, they prefer the National League style, and the DH has been split pretty evenly. Almost since the first few years that it came into play.
Here's Russell Martin. Hit a home run. His only time up. Got to congratulate our boss, John Filippelli. His son Pierce graduated from Fordham University today. Now you might say, why you're not congratulating Pierce? Well, Flip paid for it, so congratulations. Those 4 years are over.
Wait, it feels like he just went into Fordham.
Yeah.
Getting old.
So congratulations to Pierce. The 1-1. There's a strike.
And the graduation was today?
Yep.
I mean, Fordham University would have it no other way, would they? A beautiful Saturday afternoon, perfect weather.
John, when I graduated, it was pouring rain. That one is driven out to left field. Heisey reaches up and makes the play for the first out.
Well, Russell Martin's not going to be real happy with the end result, trying to get himself going offensively, but he has hit the ball on the nose twice. Nice athletic play by Heisey, going back, extending and making a nice play. Still a lot of positives with Russell Martin. His 2 swings this afternoon. Another look on Yesmo.
Here's Dwayne Wise. Count 1-0. So Martin hits one out the other way and then tries for an extra base hit, pulling it, but Heisey did run it down. The 1-0. 1-1. We were talking about earlier Sparky Anderson's comments about Thurman Munson. I had thought that he had said that while he was mic'd up on the mound. He made a comment about Munson on the mound. I looked it up and I was wrong. He actually said those comments in a post-game press conference, and that really angered Munson. And a lot of people with the Yankees thought it was not the proper, classy thing to do. But he was not mic'd up when he said that. He happened to have a backhanded compliment to Munson when he said, wow, that guy can hit. And when he got back to the press conference afterward, he said, don't compare him to Bench. And Dwayne Wise strikes out for the second time against Homer Bailey.
Belly getting stronger as this game goes along. 96 miles an hour, his best fastball of the day, and a very good spot on a lefty just above the belt, tying him up.
Here's Jason Nix. Count 1-0. Nix singled to right in the third inning and was caught stealing. Driven out to right field. Bruce back, looking, see ya. Boy, did that ball carry. A home run the other way for Nix. And it's 5-3, Cincinnati leads. David, that one took me by surprise.
We've seen balls getting knocked down going that way. But a breaking ball right there, and Nix has got some power that way. He's strong. See, this is just in the first row again. Got some swirling winds here at Yankee Stadium. Homer Bailey, the slap of the glove. That's what you get for having a first name Homer. Just kidding. He's named after his great-grandfather, which is nice.
His teammates actually call him Batman, and you might say, well, why? Well, they think he looks like Christian Bale, who played Batman. He really does. The Dark Knight. Count 1-1. Either way, those are two anti-pitching nicknames, Homer and Batman. They're offensively slanted.
Homer Bailey was drafted out of high school in LaGrange, Texas. He was a legendary high school player down there, both ways, hitting and pitching. Led his team to the state championship a couple of times.
Fisted out the other way. Phillips can't make the play, and Jeter reaches. They give Jeter a base hit, his 59th hit of the year.
Well, he gets beat with a fastball inside and just fights it off the other way. You see Phillips playing up the middle a little bit. Three-time Gold Glover going to his left, can't come up with it.
Phillips has a little smile on his face.
Yeah, that tells you how he feels. Should have made that play. Jeter and Ichiro Suzuki perennially lead the league in infield hits, year in and year out.
Pitch to Granderson is outside, 1-0.
That's Jeter's 12th infield hit of the year so far.
12 of the Major League leading 59. And also now an 8-game hitting streak for Jeter with that base hit. Driven out the other way. Slice is foul.
That had the distance. Curtis Granderson has 13 home runs. He averages a home run about 1 every 11 at-bats, which leads the Yankees. Number 2 on the Yankees, Raul Ibanez. Bit of a surprise.
1-2. And Bailey strikes out Granderson for the final out. But the Yankees get a run back. Jason Nix. He goes the other way. Carries into the first row of seats. Yankees are down by 2 as we head to the 6th. fastest, most consistent, most reliable internet. Welcome to Life on Fios. What a game, huh? Johnny Cueto, 4-1, 1.89 against CC Sabathia. Coming off his first loss, 5-1, 3.77. Our coverage begins at 12:30 p.m. right here on Yes. First pitch will be right around 107, 108. There's CC. He's out with his son, playing some catch before the game. His son's name is Little C. Todd Frazier takes inside, 1-0.
Yeah, you got to earn that second C, right?
Yes. And you really have to earn it capitalized. 1-1. Todd Frazier got a kick out of seeing on our broadcast session that picture of Todd standing next to Derek Jeter at the old stadium in '98. Todd's from Jersey. We told you that earlier. He was part of the 1998 Toms River World Series, Little League World Series champion team. George Steinbrenner invited that team to the stadium the Tuesday after the Saturday win. And they took the field with the Yankees, with the corresponding positions, and Todd Frazier was the shortstop, and there he is, standing next to Derek Jeter. That's pretty cool. Just foul. The head of the scoreboard crew, Mike Bonner, does such an unbelievable job. He had that as in his archives, that picture of Frazier and Jeter. And the 2-2. Dusty Baker had a tough time getting into the ballpark yesterday. Came to the ballpark for a night game about 1:30 and walked into the lobby, and he was asked, well, what are you doing here? Dusty said, I'm here for the game. And the security guard said, gates don't open until much later. Well, I'm the manager. You don't have any ID. He wasn't going to let him in. Good security, good job by the young man. And then somebody did recognize Dusty, and they let him in.
The guy asked him what? The manager of what?
The manager of what? I'm the manager of what? Strike three. Strikeout number 12 for Nova.
Frazier can't believe it. After up, gets the high slider called strike three. There's a fastball just off the plate called a ball. The previous pitch. Frazier thinks this one's high. He might be right.
Costanzo takes a strike.
Nova having one of those afternoons when he throws a good breaking ball, it's a strikeout. When he throws a bad one, that's a hanging slider. And he gets away with it, freezes him for a strikeout.
Costanzo picks up his first major league hit at the age of 28. Costanzo is finally in the baseball encyclopedia. And Jeter knows it, and he's going to toss the ball into the Reds dugout.
There's always a jokester.
That's Chris Spire.
Somebody's already plotting right now. You know, they're going to keep the real ball, you know, somewhere hidden, and they're going to give him a fake ball. Okay, they're plotting right now. Everybody's plotting about what to do. Practical joke.
He earned that base hit all the time in the minor leagues, independent baseball. It's been a long time coming. I'll never forget it. Not a bad place to get the first one, too. Yankee Stadium.
And it's amazing. They're plotting. And it's one of his biggest moments in his life. And they're making believe him to throw the ball into the stands. The 0-1. That got him. It did. So Mesoraco will take first.
Going in with the fastball. Gets away from him just a little bit. Piece of that left forearm, it looked like. No, maybe the right hand.
Mesoraco from Puxawani, Pennsylvania. Puxatawny, Puxatawny Pete. Groundhog Day.
Puxatawny Phil.
Close enough. Don't let the facts get in the way.
It'll be a double play off the bat of Valdez.
Puxawani Phil.
David's going to collect himself. No runs ahead. No, there's one man left. Cano's going to lead off. Punxsutawney Cano will lead off. And by Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer right now for great deals. Only a Honda is a Honda. Just got a tweet from Punxsutawney Pete. He's glad that you finally mentioned him. His brother Phil gets all of the publicity. Bottom of the 6-5-3 Reds. Heart of the Yankee order. Cano will lead off. Cano is 0 for 2, but he did score a run. And a strike. Count 1-1. 5-3. Reds lead. 12 strikeouts over 6 innings for Nova, but the 3-run home run by Joey Votto certainly changes the complexion of his outing. Can't feel too good about it as he's trailing right now, but the Yankee offense can pick him up. Cody Epley up in the Yankee pen.
Homer Bailey certainly has pitched very well today. His pitch count in very good shape at 75 pitches, and he's backed by one of the best bullpens in the National League. The Reds have been solid all year down there, including, after that strikeout, including Chapman, a left-handed Cuban flamethrower who we've been looking forward to seeing some point this weekend, Flash.
Night off last night. It was to see Robinson Cano swing through again. Looks like a spinning slider up in the zone. Some pitchers getting away with some mistakes today.
You can almost see by Bailey's reaction right after he threw that pitch. He snapped his head around and was Just like Flash said, knew we got away with one.
There's a strike to Alex.
You know, you look at Bailey, and if you're scouting his stuff, his numbers should be better. You're right, David. I mean, fastball in the mid-90s. Pitch count's great. Ball-strike ratio, fantastic. Good changeup. He's showing everything today.
He's had a pretty good sample size in the big leagues, too. We said coming in, he's 26-26 career record and 85 starts. Still relatively young, though, because he was drafted out of high school, as we said. Pitch counts per inning. You know, he was LaGrange High School legend down there, high school baseball player. Sometimes the high school guys take a little longer to develop. They got him up to the big leagues pretty quickly. If you're in Cincinnati and you can pitch, and you're in the minor leagues, you're going to get a shot.
You watch his delivery, too. It seems like a repeatable delivery. Same thing every time. Only have him down for one walk this afternoon. Throws the ball around the plate a lot with 4 quality pitches. Should be successful.
And he strikes out A-Rod. Come out to Yankee Stadium this Monday, May 21st, for a special giveaway when the Yankees take on the Royals. The first 18,000 guests in attendance receive a pack of Yankees Fathead Tradables, courtesy of Pepsi Max. For tickets, live on Yankees.com. Visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Very strange that our producer, Bill Bowen, always has me read the Fathead ad. Here's Ibanez.
That might be a first up here in the booth. Usually it's O'Neill getting on his head. Getting on himself now.
It's down to that point.
Preemptive.
That's good strategy. Just cut it off.
Want my head? Count 2-0. 5-3. Reds lead the Yankees. Are on the bottom of the 6th inning. Beautiful Saturday afternoon in New York City. And the pitch. RBI double for Ibanez's last time up.
You know, David, sometimes a pitcher throws a pitch and it tells me a lot about his attitude. Right there, a 2-0 fastball with a 2-run lead, 2 outs here in the 6th. Right down the middle of Raul Ibanez. Fouled it off.
Popped up, right field. Jay Bruce is there, and he'll put it away. 1-2-3 inning. Homer Bailey takes care of the Yankees. We go to the 7th. It's the top of the Reds order. They lead 5-3. Nissan dealer, 5-7-0, leading 3-5-0. Votto, a 3-run home run. That's the difference in the game. Nova, 5 runs, 12 strikeouts. 12 strikeouts, a career high. Home runs for the Yankees, Russell Martin and Jason Nix. And Jeff Quagliata with our Yankee research team said the last Yankee pitcher to strike out 11 and give up at least 5 runs was David Cone. He did it on August 2nd of 1998 at Seattle. You don't remember that game, do you, Dave?
No. There's probably a chance that Ken Griffey Jr. took me deep, though. Kind of like Joey Votto ruined Nova's afternoon so far.
So Cody Epley will take over for Nova. Here's Chris Heisey. He's 2 for 3. And a strike to Heisey. Cadillac scoreboard 5-3, Reds lead.
Heisey still looking for his first home run of the year, batting leadoff today. He had 18 last year.
High fly ball, left field. Wise makes the play for the first out. Well, there's a shot of the Mohegan Sun Sports Bar. It's situated in center field. The Mohegan Sun Sports Bar. It's a great place to gather and enjoy the game. It's part of the batter's eye here in center field. And here's Drew Stubbs. Want to know? Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Obviously, the Yankees have had so many injuries. You see Rapata and Phelps getting loose in that bullpen. Whenever you have injuries like that, opportunities present themselves to some young players. Epley getting an opportunity here in the 7th inning in a 2-run game. Get opportunities to throw more meaningful innings. If you have some success, all of a sudden your role becomes greater.
Check swing, did he go? No, says Tony Randazzo.
I think back to his Tanyan Sturtz, who came over to the Yankees and was like a middle reliever, wasn't getting a chance. The next thing you know, he's a couple of good innings, and he ends up here as a setup guy. Nice little run with the Yankees. Never know when that's going to happen again, with what reliever.
Yeah, managers tend to get a hot hand and ride it out, and Joe Torre did with Tanyan Sturtz. Started getting out there every day.
Three-two.
There's one thing that everybody agrees about with Joe Girardi and how he's handled this bullpen. Probably the best facet of his managing since he became manager of the Yankees is managing that bullpen, and mixing it up, giving everybody opportunities.
He ends up walking Stubbs. This chiropractic telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Well, with Joey Votto, left-hander, coming up, Clay Rapata, the left-hander's coming in, so that'll do it for Epley. Rapata against Votto. We get back. tee as he starts matching up lefty-lefty. And Votto is already hitting a 3-run home run. Has to face the left-handed Clay Rapata. Rapata 3.97. This is his 19th game. Votto walked in the first, struck out in the third. 3-run home run against Nova in the fifth.
Joey Votto coming into this game hitting .330 against righties, only .256 against left-handers. That surprises me a little bit, actually, that his batting average is that much lower against left-handers. We talked earlier about how he hits the ball the other way so well. I think it wouldn't be that much of a difference with the batting average.
Calling timeout. The door out in the Reds bullpen in left center is open. Taken care of.
You had to hit a home run off a lefty too. So obviously the smaller sample size, you know, a third of the at-bats almost, or a little more than a third. But yeah, you're right, Flash. You would think with his patient approach that he would be better than that.
Picked him off. So Rapata picks off Stubbs. Had him dead to rights.
Rapata not noted for one, you know, a Pettit-like great move, but a quick snap throw over there. Sort of a quick stepped him.
Two and one. Now 2-2.
Kind of an interesting combination, you know, with Rapata from the left side, the sidewinder, and Epley from the right side. And they've been used, Girardi's used them back to back in a lot of innings this year.
Driven out to deep left, backing up Wise, and he makes the play, going out to the warning track for the fine line. So Votto showing power the other way, but it's hauled in by Wise. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base at the end of 6.5. It's time for the 7th inning stretch here at the stadium. Reds lead the Yankees 5-3, and we will stay where we are to listen to God Bless America.
Also a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now joining Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
To
trailing that one 2-0. Thank you, Bob. And here, bottom of the 7th inning, Yankees trying to get back in this. They trail 5-3. Ivan Nova went 6 innings and struck out 12. Combination of 2 pitchers. Got through the Reds order in the 7th. 5-3 on the Cadillac score. The Florida Cincinnati leading the Yanks. So Homer Bailey has done a good job. Solo home run by Russell Martin. Solo home run by Jason Nix. RBI double by Ibanez. That's the Yankees scoring. And Nick Swisher will lead it off against Bailey. Swisher, Martin, and Wise. Kind of a wave through the strike zone by Swisher. 0-1. More authoritative swing, but still a miss. 0-2.
It's a good changeup, velocity-wise at 86 miles an hour. But I guess more impressive to finish it down in the zone. Completely fooled Nick Swisher.
Count levels at 2-2. Swisher has flied out to left and struck out. Dusty Baker's team trying to even this series at a game apiece. Well, we mentioned Dusty having a hard time getting into the ballpark yesterday, and he's had a tough time when it involves New York stadiums. When he was at the Braves, he was staying in a Midtown hotel, got in the cab and said, take me to the stadium. He wanted to go to Shea. And he was like reading. He looked up. He's outside Yankee Stadium. He said to the cab driver, he said, I wanted to go to Shea Stadium. The cab driver looked at him and said, sir, when you say the stadium in New York, you mean Yankee Stadium. So Dusty said he learned something then. That one is lined into left field, a base hit. Nick Swisher leads off with a single.
Pretty good at bat for Nick Swisher. Fooled on a couple of changeups early, and you can see pulling off a little bit. He made the adjustment in the middle of the at bat. Does a nice job on staying on a sailing fastball away from him.
Check swing fouled away.
See Russell Martin today, a big solo home run to get him going. The problem's really been at home for him this year. You know, just coming into this game, 4 for 46 at Yankee Stadium, an .087 average. He seems to be a much more aggressive. Trying to swing the bat earlier in the count, you know, and coming into this game too as well. What I've noticed with Russell Martin is just overall, you know, tentativeness. You know, he's swung the bat only 34% of all the pitches he's seen, which is the fewest in the American League. And he's not known for that. I remember him being a little aggressive, more aggressive, both with the Dodgers and last year. And today it seems like a little different approach, much more aggressive, even though right here he's down 0-2.
Count 1-2. You saw Andrusek warming up for the Reds.
I'll give you a contrast. You know, the guy who swings the bat the most of all the pitches he sees in the big leagues is Josh Hamilton. 57% of all the pitches he sees, he's hacking at. Russell Martin on the low end at 34%.
Swings and misses, and he's down on strikes.
Good changeup from Bailey that he's mixed in increasingly over the last few innings.
7 strikeouts for Bailey, just 1 walk. Brian Price, the pitching coach, comes out to talk with Bailey. Well, after the postgame, got to stay tuned for Yankees on Deck. Presented by Blimpie. CC Sabathia heads home for the dedication of his high school's new baseball field, plus pitching tips from Hiroki Kuroda. It's Yankees on Deck today after the postgame, and catch a brand new episode tomorrow at noon only on Yes. Eric Chavez is going to pinch hit for Dwayne Wise, who struggled against Bailey. Up twice, 2 strikeouts. I would guess what would happen now is that Swisher would have to go to right, Ibanez would go to left, and Chavez will play first. David Phelps warming for the Yanks. Mark Teixeira out today for the 2nd straight game, battling the bronchial illness that he has been felt with since the beginning of the season. Pinch hit single for Chavez. Line drive up the middle. Now Baker has to decide, do I go to my lights out bullpen? And he is going to go to Andrusek. Homer Bailey goes 6 1/3. Throws 97 pitches. And he turns over a 5-3 lead to the bullpen. Coming up, Jason Nix. He already has a home run. The 42951 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Today's candidates are number 1, Homer Bailey, number 2, Joey Votto, number 3, Jason Nix, number 4, Russell Martin. Vote now. Make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. David mentioned how good the Reds bullpen is. 2.61 bullpen ERA. That's best in the National League. 216 batting average against. Best in the National League. 137 relief strikeouts. Also the best. And those are the numbers on Andrusek.
Andrusek's having a great year, coming off a rough outing against the Mets. 5 earned runs on 4 hits. And still the numbers really impressive even after a tough outing. Trying to get back on track.
Well, Jason Nix will come up with the tying runs on base. And we have detailed the Yankees' struggles with runners in scoring position of late. Just have not been able to get the job done. They're 0 for 1 today with runners in scoring position. and they're 0 for their last 20. Andrew Jones pinch runs for Chavez, and there's our answer. I thought they wouldn't want to use another player, just 2 players with 1 move. So Andrew Jones will take over in left field. Those are the numbers with runners in scoring position.
Yankees a little short, obviously, with Teixeira out, so this matchup's got to happen, righty on righty, so Nix has to hit, especially with Cano DHing today. Pretty much locked in right here, righty on righty, and Nix is down 0-2.
And you also lose the possible pinch hitter with Jones by pinch running him for Chavez. Shattered bat. They get 1, and that's all they'll get. Swisher will move to third.
Does a nice job backhanding and taking that run out at second base. See, this bat shatters on the handle a little bit.
That was a nice play by Votto. A 2-run ball game to keep the tying run off the second base here. Now with 2 outs, Jeter going to take a booming double to score Nix from first base to try to tie this game.
Jeter infield single last time up, extend his hitting streak to 8 straight. Oh-1. Great numbers this year with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, 357. Two.
So the Reds try to win ball games. On Andrusek here pitching in the 7th inning. You got Chapman getting loose. Follow him up, and their closer Marshall. That's how they'd like to draw it up at the end of ball games with a lead.
Swisher off third, Jason Nix off first. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th.
With a power sinking fastball. Very hard to get lift on him. Tall, lanky guy really drives that sinker down. Gets good movement on it. Looks like he throws a real heavy ball. Generally, you see him with the split finger grip too, so he's also got a nasty splitter. So everything he throws is kind of going down, sinking. But when you refer to a guy with a heavy ball, it means that that ball's coming in and sinking down low, and when you hit it, it feels heavy because you're hitting the top half of it. And flash, when you catch it, feels heavy too.
Gets your thumbs on your catcher's mitt.
Still 0-2.
You can see he's got Derek Jeter respecting that sinker because he's looking to pull that a little bit more than we're used to seeing Derek go up the middle the other way.
Missed outside. 1-2.
Excellent 0-2 pitch. Throw that slider that looks like it's got a chance to maybe to be a strike and finish down and away. Almost impossible to get any good wood on that. And see if he goes right back to that heavy sinker inside.
Count 2-2.
Well, it helps if you're Derek Jeter and you don't know much about the bullpen for Cincinnati to see more pitches, He's gotten a good look at that sinking fastball. 4 of them already. Still not easy to hit, but you have a better idea of its action, where you're going to pick the ball up out of his hand. See if it pays off at the end of this at bat.
Popped up, shallow right. Bruce will make the play, and again, the Yankees don't get it done with runners in scoring position. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left. We go to the 8th. Phillips will lead off. Part by Toyota, the official hybrid of the New York Yankees. Defensive alignment has changed. Andrew Jones pinch ran for Eric Chavez, who had pinch hit for Dwayne Wise. So Jones takes over in right. And Raul Ibanez moves from right to left. That's where Wise was playing. And the new pitcher is David Phelps.
Those numbers, a real pleasant surprise for the Yankee and Yankee fans. He's been very solid. He was decent in his starts too that he got. Well, he is sort of a rotation member in waiting, but very effective out of the pen, and just a strike thrower. Phelps gets the ball over the plate.
Hyundai scoreboard: Cincinnati 5, New York 3. Brandon Phillips hacks at the first one and fouls it away. Phillips is 1 for 3. Oh. 1-1.
It's unusual, too, with a young pitcher who comes up from the minor leagues, that they have that confidence to throw the ball over the plate. Usually that's the last thing to come. Believing your stuff is good enough to get these hitters out. It's a nice luxury for Joe Girardi, Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, knowing he might get hit around, but he's going to throw the ball over the plate.
I was really impressed in spring training with several of the Yankee young pitchers. You know, it seems like Manuelos and Betances get all the attention.
That is a base hit to the left of Jeter. Leadoff single for Phillips, his second hit of the afternoon.
Yankees saw another young pitcher up for a little while, DJ Mitchell, with an excellent sinker, had a great spring, and he's down on the farm at any time, could be called up. And of course, Warren, too, as well, another righty down there who had a good spring. The Yankees have some young arms and some depth, and also some top prospects who need a little more time.
Here's Jay Bruce. He has struck out 3 times. He takes a strike from Phelps. Count 0-2.
Jay Bruce had a tough day. 3 straight strikeouts, and now you're down 0-2.
The count 1-2.
Phelps has got a pretty good fastball in that he can go to on lefty, sort of a swing back pitch. Good combination there with the back leg slider, and he gets a little movement on that fastball. You know, he doesn't run it up there in the mid-90s, but he's quick. He's sneaky quick, and he's got some late movement on that fastball. So you combine a little late movement with good command, and you got something you can work with. Just missed. Good look at that little spillover fastball in the inside corner there. Just downs. Jay Bruce just eyeballed what was potentially his 4th strikeout of the day.
And I like the fact that the kid has a plan on what he wants to do. Threw a slider down and in, trying to set up that fastball for strike 3. Didn't work out, but he had an idea what he wanted to do.
Swisher skips out of the way, saves an error.
Looks like Phillips is thinking about running here. Strike him out, throw him out possibility.
Runner goes. Pitch outside. Bruce works a walk. So he comes back from 0-2 to walk. Tomorrow, catch a new WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show as the skipper discusses the latest Bomber news, including David Robertson's trip to the disabled list. Plus, Joe answers your questions submitted via Twitter. The Joe Girardi Show, new tomorrow at 5, only on Yes. So Phelps in a little bit of a jam. Brandon Phillips with a single and Jay Bruce with a walk. Still nobody out. Yankees trying to hold it here at 5-3. This is the only game going on in the major leagues right now. The only other start at 1 was the Blue Jays and the Mets, and the Blue Jays beat the Mets 2-0 at Rogers Center. That one is bunted and grabbed by Phelps. He fires to first, and he fires past Nix into right field. Moving to third is Phillips, but a great play by Phelps on the bunt by Frazier. But he got excited and tried to double up Bruce and made a bad throw.
Certainly can't fault the effort. I remember separating my shoulder on a play like that in Kansas City. That's a dangerous play, and you see Phelps athletic. Nice play right there. The belly flop and the hop up, and yeah, like Michael said, maybe just a little over anxious. Sees the opportunity, the quick throw, and no chance for Nix to even potentially stop that ball from going down the right field line. Nice backup by Andrew Jones. You still got the double play in order here, 1st and 3rd with 1 out.
Here's Mike Costanzo. Fouled away. In the 6th inning, he picked up his first major league hit. A long trip through the minor leagues. He's 28 years old.
Tell you what, he's not afraid to swing the bat. He goes up there hacking. It's around the plate. He's ready to hit.
High fly ball, fairly deep center. Granderson makes a catch. Phillips will jog home. It's a sac fly for Costanzo, and now it's 6-3 Reds.
Well, after starting out his day with 2 strikeouts, Costanzo got his first major league hit and his second RBI. Finish on a good note.
So that error turns out to be costly, allowing Brandon Phillips to move to third. Mesoraco takes outside. Keep him close. Reds 6, Yankees 3. Top of the 8th inning, 1-1 count on Mesoraco, who is 1 for 2 with a run scored. He was also hit by a pitch. 1-1. 1-2. And the pitch. Fouls it back. Runner goes. Fouled away. So the Reds, who don't really run much, Dusty Baker has them moving on the bases in these 2 games, at least trying to get something going on.
Good read by Dusty Baker when you got Phelps on the mound, who's a strike thrower and always around the plate. Got a chance to send the runner, and then he could score. Anything in the gap.
1-2. Missed inside.
Pretty good pitch here. Brian Gorman, home plate umpire, does not give Phelps the call. Finishes off the plate inside. Russell Martin trying to keep that pitch there, give Gorman a good look, doesn't get the call.
The 2-2 pitch. Driven out to right field. Andrew Jones slides, but it's a foul ball.
Rocco getting a good at-bat here. You know, I mentioned before, he's the #1 draft choice catcher. Andrew Jones is going to break it down with a little slide up against the wall. Rocco was the Reds minor league player of the year in 2010. The Chief Bender minor league player of the year.
Count 3-2.
The Reds kind of think this guy might be the answer behind the plate for them. They're kind of waiting for him to come along.
Making Phelps work.
I like the way they're kind of breaking him in. He catches 2 of the 5 guys in the rotation. Hannigan, I guess, would be considered more of their everyday guy. He catches 3 out of the 5. They don't give him the job full time. Learn a little bit on the fly.
Hannigan's played well this year.
Runner goes. Foul bat. Reds got a run in the first, another one in the second. Yankees answered back with 1 in the third and 1 in the fourth. So it's a 2-2 game going to the 5th inning. Joey Votto then with a 3-run home run off of Ivan Nova, made it 5-2. Yankees had a run in the 5th, made it 5-3. It stayed that way until the Reds just pushed across a run in the 8th to make it 6-3. That one is grounded to A-Rod. He gets a nice hop across the diamond, and that will do it. But the Reds score 1 run, 1 hit, 1 big error, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Granderson, Cano, and A-Rod coming up. Game. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry are back in our studios to break down today's matchup, including highlights from around baseball. Plus, Meredith Morakovitz gets the reaction from the clubhouse. It's the WB Mason postgame, and it's only on Yes. Well, this should be an electric half inning, as you have Aroldis Chapman on the mound. He has thrown a ball in his career at 106 miles an hour, and his stats are, well, stunning. He has not allowed an earned run. 20 1/3 innings pitched, 36 strikeouts, and 7 walks, and that's in 16 games, a 3-0 record. Opponents hitting 103, and the Yankees will send up some of their best against him. Granderson, Cano, and Rodriguez, 2 lefties and a righty. See if the Yankees can come back from a 6-3 deficit. Granderson is 0 for 2 with a walk. Homer Bailey started, pitched the 6 1/3. Then Logan Andrusek came in to get the final 2 outs of the 7th. And now it's Aroldis Chapman. Hyundai scoreboard 6-3 Reds. He pitched Thursday at Citi Field, back-to-back days, and gave up an unearned run in the last outing. Was not available yesterday, but back on the mound today. 98 miles an hour. And they're a little uncertain what to do with this guy. There have been a lot of rumors about, well, he should be a starter, but he is so lights out and such a weapon in the bullpen.
Well, he was stretched out as a starter in spring training, and then Madsen got hurt. Their closer that they tried to bring in here, so they moved him to the bullpen. Give him another weapon down there, but where's he more valuable?
Well, they had him starting in spring training this year. As you see, Zach Cozart's now at shortstop, and Valdez moves to third. And that was the plan, to get him in the rotation. I think they still hold on to that plan. But obviously, things changed with some of the injuries. They'd signed Ryan Madsen to be their closer, and he came up lame with an elbow injury, so bullpen came up short.
High pop-up and out of play.
And Dusty Baker was a big advocate to keep him in the bullpen. Get him back in the bullpen, especially after Madsen's injury. So for now, the young flamethrower is going to be down there helping out that really good Cincinnati Reds bullpen right now. But the plan is to get him in the rotation in the future.
Three-two. Swung on and missed. 99 miles an hour. Quite a left arm on Aroldis Chapman.
Well, obviously, if you can throw 98, 99 as a starting pitcher and keep that velocity all the way through, it's going to be an attractive thing. This is real speed.
Pretty good spot, too. Down and away and a little action on it.
Yeah, but how many times do you see a reliever who throws hard, goes to the rotation, all of a sudden the velocity's down 4 miles an hour and stuff isn't the same? Job of Chamberlain. Happened to him.
All the way to the backstop. 1-0 on Cano. Cano is 0 for 3 today. 11 innings. He's retired the side in order. That's the most of any reliever in the game. Actually, righties have a tougher time against him than lefties. Righties hitting 095 against him. Lefties hitting 115.
Tell you what, the velocity obviously pretty impressive, but I don't think I'd be digging in there. Kind of his delivery's all over the place, a little herky jerky, not a comfortable at bat.
Count 3-1.
Story's well documented from Cuba. He defected. The Reds won out, signed him to a 6-year contract through 2015.
So they have a count 3-2.
They've got some time to figure out what to do with him.
Made his debut August 31st, 2010. He threw a 105-mile-per-hour pitch, which is considered a Major League Baseball record. He has that tattooed on his left wrist. 105. And that one's 99 as Cano swings and misses. Yankees have had their struggles offensively the way it is. In a terrible slump with runners in scoring position, this is not the type of guy they need to see right now.
Cano, a good fastball hitter, way late. You can almost see the glove. The catcher just snap back as if he is caught off guard by not only the velocity, but that jump right into the mid. A little action on this fastball as well.
Here's A-Rod. Count 1-0. Alex is 0 for 3. Popped to second, fly to center, and struck out. Count 1-1. Count 2-1. The Reds surprised a lot of people by outbidding others for Chapman when he defected from Cuba. They usually don't get into those sorts of bidding wars. But they won it, and they're happy with him, although they have not exactly, as we mentioned, figured out how to use him. 38 strikeouts, most by a National League reliever. Three-one. High pop-up. Kozar out. Makes the play, and Chapman works an effective 1-2-3 inning. But we're going to take this one to the ninth inning. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Reds as the Yankees are trailing by 3. Inning, Reds lead 6-3. Let's take a look at the Land Rover drive of the game.
Well, top of the 5th inning, the big swing for the Cincinnati Reds. Joey Votto, a 3-run shot to right field, his 7th of the year, was your Land Rover drive of the game.
That is the difference in the ball game right now. That 3-run shot in the top of the 5th.
Valdez swings and misses against Phelps Offering to start off the 9th inning. If you just joined us, Ivan Nova started for the Yankees. He actually struck out 12 batters in 6 innings of work. But he gave up a run in the 1st inning, 2 walks, an RBI single by Brandon Phillips. Then 2 doubles in the 2nd, one by Mesoraco and one by Heisey, made it 2-0. The Yankees came back with a Russell Martin home run in the 3rd, RBI double by Ibanez in the 4th, and that made it 2-2. In the 5th inning, a 3-run home run by Votto made it 5-2 Reds. Yankees answered back with another run in the 5th, a solo home run by Jason Nix. That made it 5-3. And then the Reds on a sac fly by Costanzo in the 8th made it 6-3. That's where we stand right now. Nova pitched just 6 innings, and the rest of the innings have been handled by the Yankee bullpen. Count 3-2. Swing and a miss, and Phelps strikes out Valdez. So 1 down here in the 9th. There's a closer, Sean Marshall. Pitch outside to Heisey.
A nice day in the leadoff hole for Heisey. 2 for 4, including that double.
Count 1-1. Chapman seemed upset when he walked into the dugout. He just pitched a dominating 1-2-3 inning, but he wasn't thrilled. Maybe he had zeroed in Alex Rodriguez, somebody he wanted to strike out. Didn't do much better than he did that inning.
A couple of these power left-handed relief arms. See, he's not real happy in the dugout. Reminds you of the Nasty Boys back in the day, huh? Norm Charlton.
Getting greedy. Want to strike out the side. What a great start to the year he's had.
Strike 3. Heisey for the second out. So 2 strikeouts here for Phelps. And that's going to bring up Drew Stubbs. Stubbs 0 for 2, but with 2 runs scored, 2 walks, stolen base. If you want to look ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning, it'll be Ibanez, Swisher, and Martin. Strike.
It seems like since this new Yankee Stadium opened, Michael, the Yankees have really been noted for a lot of late game magic. You know, a lot of come from behind wins. You're not really getting that sense this year from the Yankees. Obviously, their injuries to their lineup and Brett Gardner out. Still trying to kind of get some guys going. Teixeira's out for this series, you know, with sort of his unknown sickness or flu-like symptoms, but especially in 09 when they won the World Series, a lot of late inning magic.
Strike 3. So Phelps does what Chapman wanted to do. He strikes out the side. Do the Yankees have a rally in their bones? Bottom of the 9th inning coming up. Wrap up this interleague showdown right here in the Bronx. What a pitching matchup. Cueto against Sabathia. Coverage starts at 12:30 with the Tri-State 4 pregame. Then John, David, and I are back for all of the action. It's only on Yes. Well, can the Yankees rally here in the bottom of the 9th inning? They'll have to do it against the left-handed closer, Sean Marshall. He's 7 for 8 in save opportunities. More hits than innings pitched. Low walk total, 20 strikeouts in 14 innings as well.
He like that from any reliever. Only 3 walks, especially a closer. Throw the ball over the plate. Acquired from the Cubs during the offseason.
And as John mentioned earlier, their plan for their bullpen kind of went awry. They signed Ryan Madson to a 1-year deal when the market for closers was not what Madson thought it was going to be, leaving the Phillies. So they signed him to a 1-year deal, and he automatically blew out his elbow, and he's out for the year. So they had to reconfigure their bullpen, and Marshall is closing. And he will face Raul Ibanez. The Yankees know about that. They lose their closer. They lose their 8th inning guy. And now Soriano is closing for them. Yankees have not had 9th inning magic this year. They are 0-16 when trailing through 8 innings.
2 nasty sliders back to back from Marshall.
He's going to do it a little different way than Chapman did it in the last inning.
The 0-2.
Marshall, much more of a finesse guy. 91 with his fastball, but a really good slider. He knows how to pitch. Chapman topped out at 100 miles an hour in the 8th inning, so quite a contrast in styles from the 2 lefties at the end of the game.
Nice piece of hitting by Ibanez against the tough lefty. And the ball gets past Bruce, and it rolls to the wall. So that's a double for Ibanez to start off the bottom of the 9th inning.
Marshall threw a couple of good sliders back to back to start off the at-bat and tried to elevate a fastball. And then the put-away pitch, another fastball, gets hammered into right center field. Bruce has trouble with his footwork. I think Ibanez would have gotten into second base anyway. A leadoff double here in the 9th inning. Yankees have a little bit of life.
So here's Nick Swisher. He'll bat from the right side against the lefty Marshall. And the pitch. A strike. Swisher is 1 for 3. Yankees 0 for the last 22 with runners in scoring position, and 3 for their last 51. The tide has to turn at some point. And they have the lowest batting average of any major league team in the month of May with runners in scoring position. They're 21 for 134. So that's under 160. The 0-1. Base hit. There's a hit with runners in scoring position. Ibanez is waved home. The throw is cut off, and the Yankees have cut it to 6-4. That breaks an 0 for 22 slide with runners in scoring position.
Swisher right on that backdoor slider. Doesn't try to do too much with it. And at this point, I'm thinking Ibanez is going to hold up at third, maybe down 3 runs, but they go ahead and send him. Rob Thompson all the way to home plate, waving him in. Worked out okay. Swisher breaks the snide of the Yankees overall and gets an RBI.
If that throw is on line, it's a close play at home.
Here's Russell Martin. There's a home run in the game, 1 for 3. 1-0. We told you how good the Reds bullpen has been, so the Yankees have an uphill climb here. 2.61 ERA coming into the game. Best in the National League. Martin has success against Marshall, 3 for 5 in his career.
We'll see if the Yankees can relax a little bit with that hit by Nick Swisher. Finally, somebody gets a hit with a runner in scoring position. Take a little deep breath if you're a Yankee hitter. Try to have productive at bats.
Still nobody out, so 1 base runner away from bringing the tying run up. Or the winning run, rather. Now it's 6-4.
Count 1-2 on Martin. Andrew Jones is on deck. Crowd of 45,302 here at the stadium on Cap Day. The 1-2, foul back.
Much better swings by Russell Martin. He was all over that fastball there in a 1-2 count. Good swing. Fouled it straight back. As David said, a lot more aggressive today. Going up to the plate, swinging the bat.
One-two. Breaking ball, strike three. Martin down looking. Caught the outside corner. Martin didn't like the call.
Take a look. Big curveball. Just boxed up by the catcher, but it's got the plate and it's got the height. Just looks bad when you try to frame it and then you just kind of box it up. It clanks off your glove. Pretty good pitch.
See how Marshall would be effective with that. Kind of steps towards first base. He's so tall. Backdoor curveball could be effective to a righty.
Here's Andrew Jones. Andrew 1 hit and 9 at bats lifetime against Marshall. Strike on the outside corner, 1-1.
That's going to be a tough pitch for Andrew Jones right there. The backdoor curveball. You really want a mistake coming down and into you. This is a tough pitch to drive.
That one wasn't as good as the one Martin. That might have broke around the plate a little more.
Another one clips the outside corner, 1-2.
If he's going to call it, you keep throwing it.
It's tough. You're a right-handed batter. The ball out of Marshall's hand that you're thinking there's no way it could come back for a strike. It just clips the outside corner.
Just push the envelope. Just a bit too far outside. 2-2. Andrew Jones is the tying run at the plate. Nick Swisher at first. He just drove in Ibanez. There's one out. Bottom of the ninth. 6-4 Reds lead. And the 2-2. Base hit. Swisher around second. He'll go to third. And Andrew Jones puts runners on first and third for the Yanks.
Marshall shook off Mesoraco to get to this fastball, and you can't sneak it by Andrew Jones. He's always ready for the cheese. Pretty good pitch away, too. But after all those backdoor curveballs, here comes the fastball. Andrew Jones is ready for it. The Yankees got something working here.
Things get awfully interesting now. If you're Mesoraco behind the plate, what pitch do you call? One swing of the bat could end this ball game.
Tells you how concerned the Yankees are with Teixeira. A switch hitter could come off the bench and bat against Marshall, but Joe Girardi wanted to shut him down completely today, so Jason Nix at the plate in a big moment, bottom of the ninth inning. And a strike to Nix. Nick's single to right in the third was caught stealing, then hit a home run to right center in the fifth. Jose Arredondo is up for the Reds. The 0-1. 1-1. Soriano up in case there are extra innings. Go on 1. 1-2.
Marshall going back with a steady diet of curveballs. One slider in that mix. Seems like every time he's thrown his fastball, in the strike zone, it's been hit hard in this inning. So probably going to stay with that breaking ball, maybe backdoor to mix, especially after that last swing. See what Roscoe thinks back there.
Base hit to left field. Swisher scores. Andrew Jones moved to second. Makes his third base hit of the day, an RBI, and the Yankees are now down by 1.
And Dusty Baker on the top step, and you called it, David. Every time Marshall throws a fastball, it gets hit hard. Jason Nix having a nice afternoon for the New York Yankees.
Well, they have Arredondo up. You've got the righty Jeter coming up, but then 2 lefties after that. And Baker is going to go for Arredondo. He doesn't like what he sees from his closer, so the Yankees are mounting a rally here in the bottom of the 9th. They pull to within 1 on this Knicks base hit. The captain will face Arredondo next. The 9th inning, a double by Ibanez, a single by Swisher. Russell Martin strikes out, then a single by Jones, an RBI single by Jason Nix. So the Yankees knock out the Reds closer, and they bring in Jose Arredondo.
Arredondo, more strikeout type stuff. Power fastball and a really good split, swing and miss type split finger pitch.
Here's Derek Jeter. He is 1 for 4. An infield single and 3 fly balls to right. The tying run's at second. The winning run is at first. 1 man out, bottom of the 9th inning. Arredondo against Jeter. That one is grounded to third. There's one. On to first. Not in time. He beat it out. The game's still alive. Knicks went in hard at second base. And Phillips almost pivoted and turned it for two, but Jeter beat it out.
David talked about the split finger of Arredondo. He did not go to that first pitch. He came right at Derek. And it looked like a pretty routine double play. Phillips, as Knicks goes in hard, doesn't have a lot on the throw. Derek Jeter, like always, hustling down the line. Get another look at the turn. Just didn't have a lot on the throw. Like a good call.
So that leaves it to Curtis Granderson.
A little surprised, yeah, as you said, Michael. Makes a good job, and Phillips just, kind of backing off on that throw.
Pitch inside. Remember, the tying run's now at third base. A good block by Mesoraco.
Really good block. David again talked about that split finger. Andrew Jones on third base. Nice job by the rookie catcher in the dirt. His chest protector in front of it.
Yeah, those are the ones that can get away when they're almost in the batter's box hitting the dirt.
Gotta have the guts to keep calling it and keep trusting you can block it.
Count 2-0, and with a 2-0 count, 346, 4 homers and 6 ribbies with 11 walks. Now what the numbers are after a 3-0 count. Do you green light Granderson here, or do you just pass the baton to Cano? Andrew Jones leads off third. Derek Jeter off first. 2 men out, bottom of the ninth. Yanks down by 1. They do green light him, and he grounds it foul. Trying for a 3-run home run there.
This next pitch will be interesting to see what Arredondo's thinking after that 3-0 fastball. Granderson turns it loose. I'd expect a split finger here.
Runner goes. Pitch is swung on and missed. Jeter will take second.
It's no small thing as he's the winning run now. Curtis Granderson's going to have to really lay off of this splitter because you know there's another one coming right now.
Stolen base for Jeter. Crowd on its feet. It has come down to this in the bottom of the ninth. The payoff. Slow roller to first. Votto there. And he beats Granderson to the bag as the Reds hold on to win 6-5. So the Yankees came back, but just ran out of steam at the end. Jeter hits into the force play, and then Granderson grounds out to first to end the game. Stick around for the postgame show to find out who's today's Chevy Player of the Game.
This play develops very slowly. A weak ground ball. Votto waits back on it, makes sure he makes the play, and then it's a foot race. Just beats Curtis Granderson.
So the Reds hold on. The series has been split over the first 2 games. Tomorrow is the rubber game. We'll come back, we'll wrap things up, and then go to Bob and Jack and Mary.